Hello, winners, and welcome to Two for the Win with your hosts, Nick and Wil. We have a special return guest to share with us some thoughts about Kensington Tours. And so, really excited. But before we reintroduce our returning special guest, want to make sure you share, subscribe, and follow Two for the Win on your favorite platform. I want to give a shout out to Nick Menard and Associates with Dream Vacations for sponsoring today's episode. Thank you, Nick Menard.
You're welcome. Hello, winners.
Hello. So I'll give you the honors of reintroducing Bill to our winners and go into today's topic.
Absolutely. I'm sure if you are watching this episode on video, you recognize our great friends, business partner, and amazing speaker, Bill Egan here. So normally Bill is with his better half, Susan, but today she was not available. So he's going to be doing the role of both of them.
Yeah.
So recently Bill was able to get invited to an event by Kensington Tours, and he came back with a lot of great ideas, with a lot of things that he didn't know before that. So we wanted to share that with the audience, because Kensington Tours is definitely a vendor that we love to work with, and we want more people to be aware of what's possible to do with them. So without further ado, let me introduce you, the owner of Babcock Mortgage, Bill Egan.
Welcome back.
Absolutely.
We should have welcome back music. Maybe the production company could play that in the background. We do.
Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, Bill, we're very happy to have you back. So tell us in big lines, how was the event, and what did you learn in big line from this event?
Yeah, great. Well, first, I just want to say thank you so much for having me back, guys. It's always a pleasure to talk with you and be able to share the experience I had, and the knowledge I was able to gain from this. And I will tell you, I hadn't had a lot of experience with Kensington previously before this, but I'm really going to try to encourage my clients to use them because of the level of customization that they really do for their clients. It's not you have some tours that have certain packages, and they're really excellent at that. They truly will, make everything super individualized for every client, no matter what it is. And, a little sneak peek too, the cruising that they do is next level. And I tell you, I want to take one of the Asian Pacific area cruises that they do, and do that, because the way they do custom cruises is just phenomenal. Something I'd love to experience, and is now a bucket list item for me.
Wow.
Cool.
So for people who remember, when we invited Amy, client director of Kensington Tours for our region, you heard probably a lot of those tour who are land tour. And so Kensington are well known for that. They actually started, multi-decades ago, from Africa. And so that's where they're really known for the most, because they started there. But now there's literally no place on planet Earth that you want to experience that Kensington will not be able to help with people on site. And that's the beauty of Kensington. They have literally people on each continent, multi places, that know and live in those areas that people are going. So they will have the best guidance possible in order to provide the best service possible on this one. But like Bill mentions, they also do customizing, like cruising. So they don't use any cruise line that you guys know and that you heard. They use like private yacht and private tour that they are able to put together. And I got a client one time who did it in Galapagos. So they did everything on land, but they wanted 3 days like on the water, and they were able to literally like tailor-made a specific cruise for those 3 nights on a yacht for the clients. So I really want to ask, the first question I want to ask is, you mentioned that cruise that is now on your bucket list in the Pacific. Can you share a little bit more about that, so it can make our winners think about maybe what's possible?
Yeah, sure. So I've always wanted to visit like Bali and, Vietnam and that area over there, the Asian Pacific area. That just really has always been, something that I've definitely wanted to do. But, it was so hard to really like nail down like which area do you want to go to? Because you really want to kind of get immersed in those areas to get the true full experience. But, being on as many cruises that we've been on, I kind of realized that, hey, you can then go and check those areas out and see which ones you want to go and then do a follow-up, tour. So, I knew Kensington was, a lot of land based, but that's really what surprised me was the level of the customization. You said it's private yachts. They have their own captains and crews and chefs and everybody that they coordinate with that's part of their team that they hire out as the event as well. So you never have to worry about that. And for the prices that you would get to go fly over there and to try to do something like that, it's very reasonable compared to, some of the other, name brand tours that you would use. But you get a private yacht, with 10 people, because these yachts will hold 10, 12 couples and you can get 10 people and it's actually relatively reasonable to go over there and have a mega yacht, a
Mhm.
super yacht to be able to go and have your cruise on. And, it was just, I never thought that was really a possibility, in that realm. It would definitely the Bali, Vietnam, there's so many different areas and, that they can get into with those smaller ships as well to really give you those experiences. And since it's your own custom, you don't, oh, well, hey, we get off the boat at 8, we got to get back on at 5. No, it's your boat, your custom, whatever you want, what time you want to go, what time you want to leave. The crew is there for you for that. And it's just such an elevated experience from, the pictures and the videos that they were able to share with us during that seminar.
No, I love that. Why we talked about it weeks ago on another episode of Wanderlust Wednesday about the experience may be different when you have a group. It's maybe a lot cheaper or the same price in worst case scenario when you go in a group of 10, 15, 20 or larger the group or cheaper it's going to be per person to experience something that it's impossible to replicate on a normal ship. And so it's great that you bring that up again because you would be surprised the fee per person on those yachts were completely private. Like you mentioned, you go to a place and you really like it, you can stay longer. Or maybe the captain has maybe for sure the captain has information about different location that are maybe not directly on the destination, but if they hear there is something specific happening there, they just change their destination by a few miles and then go another place where there is actually the event happening, and without having any kind of change of tarification, pricing, or anything like that. You go with the flow as long as you arrive at the day that should be arriving at the end of the destination. So that's something that is definitely to take into consideration. And don't be afraid by the word yacht, because when I talk to clients, usually that's what I heard. Oh, I'm not in the budget bracket of yacht. Well, you'll be surprised as I literally quoted someone for Croatia for 22 people on a yacht for 7 nights, and it was a pricing of under $5,000 per person.
Yeah.
For by 7 night, the yacht is yours.
Right.
Food included, like captain, everything for a week in Croatia. So you cannot do that in all those famous cruise line, like luxury cruise line, like Region, Seabourn. You cannot get to that kind of level of budget because it's gonna be double that price. And here it's your own. So it's definitely we need to stop thinking luxury like impossible to pay, because if you go by yourself, yes, because you will have to pay for the way that Kensington work is they pay for the yacht and the crew. All right, X amount of money. Let's say $100,000 for that week. Well, if you are two people, it's 50,000 per person. But if you have 6 couple, that's going to be very reasonable. And that's the way to look at it. So thank you for bringing that up again. Anything else that you heard during this event that you didn't know, or maybe something but you want to reiterate?
Yeah, so definitely. So the people that they have helping you plan your trips, when you give them either, I want to go to this area or I want to do this, they get you connected with people within their company that lived in that area, that, know the differences. Like, hey, you know what? You shouldn't go to the fjords, Norway in the middle of winter because it's going to be dark 24 hours a day. And, because we had a client that reached out like, oh, I want to go see the fjords and around Christmas time. And we're like, do you really want to see them? Then you shouldn't go then but we didn't know that. And, that they have those people that are on the ground or they would live there for so many years and they're experts in that. And they will be able to guide you and be like, oh, go to this museum if this is what you like, or go to see this because, they like, statues or art or music or whatever it is that the individual client likes. They really can super customize it and give you suggestions for things on the ground you might not otherwise known about because they're experts in all those areas.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, because again, for all the things that you mentioned, who better to know than a local, right? Like where to go, where
Yeah.
not to go, what time of year to go, things like that. So, um, when you went to that event, I would imagine they also did touch on the land, or was it pretty much just talking about more the custom cruises?
No, it was definitely the land too, and actually, I really didn't. And as Nick mentioned, the history of the company where it started, it did start in Africa, and they're very philanthropic as well. They have, they really give back to the community and in Africa, and because that's where they got their roots, and and they stayed true to that, and it just really feels like a really homey company. Like anybody I would call or talk to there, just would make me feel like a member of the family and not just a client calling, though. So that made me, feel really good about that.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And obviously, like myself, the fact that they do those custom yacht tours, that was interesting and different. Wasn't expecting that. Anything else stand out that kind of caught you off guard that you didn't realize they could do? Or
Yeah, so we've done a couple other things about like Africa and in the different areas, but Kensington, they, because there are some parts of Africa, it's like, listen, if you really want to go there, we have guides, we have people that could take you there, we could do these things, and those things that you really want to do. And the nice thing is that, again, it's so customized and it's individual too, so it's not necessarily a big group that you're going to go with where people you don't know. If you
Mhm.
have people you want to go with the group, it's going to be with people and you share that experience with them. Otherwise, they just do a private itinerary just for you and your family, or you and your guest, or whoever it is. And whether it's Europe or Asia, Australia, they do, pretty much all over. They really don't have fixed schedules. They customize everything for you from town to town, and how you want to transfer there. Some people, if they want to, they'd rather do the rail because the rail, is exciting. They want to go through the mountains, or they want to fly, or they want a car, whether they want a private car, like an Uber or a taxi, a limo, anything like that. They take care of all of those details for you, and just make it, super easy. You don't have to really think about it. You just show up, and you just be able to go through the whole vacation and be able to experience everything.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. And just thinking about, unfortunately, sometimes I got a mischievous side. So when you're like, oh, you could kind of pick your transfer. I wonder how they would respond if I said, I want to go on a unicycle. Like, would they quote that out?
They probably would find you somebody. They could. I don't know how much luggage they'd be able to carry, but I mean, they would probably do that. Anything you really wanted, that's the one thing. Any idea that a client has, they will make happen. Or they will do their best to make happen. I mean, that
Ooh,
was the beauty about it. No request is too small, nor any request is too big to try to accomplish.
Yeah, and we have we were able at the our agency to work for some clients in Alaska as well when they do like a national park.
Mm.
So if you want to do Alaska, most people go on a cruise, right? Because that's the easy way to visit, Alaska. But if you want to do the real Alaska, which is inside, then you do have to do the national parks. But again, it's only open pretty much 4 months a year. Well, they have a team there who can take care of clients who want to do those experiences, and they take care of everything, dock sliding in between, like anything that you can think of, they can do with you. They have their own helicopter that they can use to go on certain iceberg. That's so crazy detail that they are. So just to give you an idea, I talked already about Galapagos. I did last month one for 5 clients, for 5 person in in the eastern safari in Africa. And like you mentioned, that's what I love. They will not be with anyone else. So they literally, as soon as they land, they're taken care of by Kensington. And the guide who is a local is staying with them during the whole 12 days. So they will literally like sleep in the same lodges, like they will, he's gonna be the driver. He's gonna know where to go. He's gonna listen to what the client wants. So if they said, "Oh, we would love to see those kind of animals. Where is the most chance for us to see?" Well, he's gonna go there, and that's the beauty of having a private kind of tour that you cannot have if you use like another company who may be like, "All right, that's the tour we're doing, and that's the tour we're doing," which is fine. Funny enough, and that's something I need to add there. So I quoted for another company I won't mention that I really love to work with. And I quoted first there, which is a group tour when there will be like 20, 25 people. So you will be with people that you don't know, which for some people is what they like. So they can also get to know new people. So there is no knockoff about that. But I quoted the same exact tour with Kensington while it's private, the same level of lodge, but a lot more like privacy, of course. And it was 10% cheaper on with Kensington. So we need to stop thinking luxurious means impossible financially, because you would be surprised, about the difference of pricing. I never thought it was going to be cheaper. I thought best case scenario is going to be about the same. Well, it was cheaper 10%, which is a lot when we look at those kind of numbers. All right.
Those trips, yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so definitely something to take into consideration. And again, when you do those kind of trip, it's a once in a lifetime. You don't go to Africa or to Galapagos like every single year. So when you do those trips, why not treat yourself with something that's going to be memorable? And so yeah, very, very excited about the opportunity to offer that for our clients moving forward as well.
Yep. And Amy was great to work with too. She was just very friendly, and was able to answer all of our questions. And like I said, call me anytime if I don't answer. I'm usually on the phone, and I'll call you right back. And and that's the experience I've had with her. Is I had to call her about a question I had, and about this because I wanted to clarify something, and she responded to me within 15 minutes, and I was able to get it done. So it just the people there are just super nice, in all my experience so far.
People you work with are so important, and that's why we proud ourselves in our agency to make sure that we make those connections. We take time out of our day to go meet our partners, spend time with them, have lunch, dinner with them, so we can understand better how they work and the best way for us to provide the best service possible for our clients. And in this case with Kensington, I love a lot of our partners, but Kensington is the highest level of service that I experienced in my 3 years in the agency. While, for example, when I was talking to Alaska, Africa, and Galapagos, I had 3 different people. So when you work with a vendor, usually, or as a client, you want to learn about the vendor. Usually, you talk and you have a person on the phone who will provide all the information. Here, they want to learn about who the client is, not the name, but what style do they like to do, what do they like to do on vacation? What are the ultimate expectation? They want to exceed that expectation. So they don't want to just provide what they want, but they want to surprise them. So usually Kensington Tour, they add like a touch that people were not expecting. And we all know that, the best thing to do for clients in any kind of industry is to do the little thing that they don't expect. And that's what they're not going to be forgetting. All right. So when you do an experience like traveling, it's so very much important. And I remember they said, tell us more about your client. Like, we want to understand who they are. They even go as far as willing to talk to our clients, which never happened with no vendor. They just want to, name, date of birth, email address, and so they book it. Here they want to understand, like, can we talk to your clients even after booking? And that shows the care and the fact that they really want to nail the experience. And I think that is showing for me a level of professionalism that I really want to emulate, and I want to work with people like that. So you will never be upset by any kind of service with Kensington Tours, and I think it's super important.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other thing too is, let's say you're on the other side of the world and something happens, you need to contact somebody from the tour. It's like the people you're going to contact are boots on the ground, local. Like you said, you have a guide with you on, you're going to have somebody in those with those itineraries where they're going to be there and they're the connection. They're the person you're going to go to with any problems and they're going to be able to handle it right away. It's not going to be like, oh, well, it's 2 o'clock in the morning over there. I guess I have to wait till it's daytime and then they'll take care of my problem in 8 hours. But meanwhile, you're still waiting with that. But at Kensington, it's not the case. They take care of it immediately because they have people right there with you.
Yeah. A question that I will never forget that they asked is, do your client have any family member at destination or people that they know that they would like to meet again? And I didn't understand that. And Amy mentioned that also during one of the recording. They go as far as trying to find the people who are from your family or who are friends with you back in the day to try to reach out to them. So you don't have to do nothing. They literally do all the work to try to find the people that you may know in the area and surprise you with those people during a lunch or dinner. I mean, it's the ultimate service, and that's why the highest number of return customer from vendor is Kensington. Because once you experience Kensington, you will be disappointed with a lot of other experience you will have because that level is hard to reach.
Yeah, no, she actually gave us an example during the seminar where there was a gentleman who, grew up in Africa and, went to school with somebody over there, and he moved back to the States. And like 40 years later, he's like, "I'd like to go find that person," and they found that person, and they showed the picture of them standing together and hugging, and they hadn't seen each other since he was like 12 years old, and now he's like in the 60s, and so it was just it was really heartwarming to see that level of dedication to the clients and be able to go over the top like that. It really does make a difference.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That sounds amazing. Any any other like neat destinations or tours they mentioned? Obviously the uniqueness of Africa, you mentioned that. The custom tours, especially the yacht tours in the Pacific, but and obviously we talked about Alaska, but anything else that you think was like, you know what, this might be kind of cool. I'm gonna check with my network and see if they're interested or anything like that. Cause we maybe
Actually,
haven't.
Nick kind of mentioned that in Croatia and that area there, I didn't realize how beautiful it really is there. It's absolutely gorgeous. And, at different times of the year, whether it's spring, summer, or the fall, there's something, in that area, and the food is fantastic. The people seem to be wonderful. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, that was something that I was a little surprised about because I didn't really know much about that area and, whether it was even a place I would want to visit. And then after seeing, one of the tours that someone had done and some of the pictures and whatnot, I was like, wow, that was really amazing. And, I could see myself going there and experiencing that, it just was, the breathtaking, the scenery and, the different areas that you could go.
Yeah, I love that you brought it up because it reminded me. I know of somebody who just went to Croatia for the first time a few weeks ago, and he came back, and this will kind of give you a window into his sense of humor and why he probably I think it's funny where some people are probably like, oh my gosh, but he's like, how in the world did Croatia be able to cut out the best part of the whole area when they all separated because they're all in the water and everything like that? I don't know. He's like, it's way better than like some of the other parts like Serbia and Yugo. And I'm like, I guess so. I guess
Sure.
so. But they were floored with it as well. In fact, this is somebody who travels quite a bit. And he said it was his favorite experience he's had to date was Croatia for a lot of the things that you mentioned. So went up in my bucket list. So I don't know, Bill, maybe we need to get a group with you, me, Nick, and Susan and others. We got to hit Southeast Asia and hit Croatia. We'll
Yeah.
figure it
Hey,
out.
we get a yacht together, and we we can get
There we go.
25 people and pay under 5,000 each and have a week in
That would
Croatia.
be
Look
amazing.
at Claire's husband, captain the ship.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's something we mentioned a lot during the podcast. When we have people in United States willing to experience Europe, top four is always Italy, Greece, France, and Spain. All right. Croatia is the one that it's just in between all of them. So you have, of course, Spain, France, Italy, Greece, and in between Italy and Greece is Croatia. And Croatia is gorgeous. It's less pricey as Greece and Italy, but it's literally gorgeous. It's the same water, number one, and number two, I see some places that are very similar as Amalfi, and Amalfi is probably number one or number two most asked destination for people going for the first time in Europe. It's on the side of Italy. Croatia is very similar. Some places are very similar as Amalfi for a fraction of the price. So it's something good to know. Sometimes you don't have to go to the most famous name, but you go to other place. And again, that's a great thing to work with any of us. Because we can guide you and advise you based on your budget or where it's possible to go and still have a fantastic experience. So love that.
Yeah. And Australia's up there too on that bucket list. So, that's another area to do as well.
Never been. He went, but we are present and we never been.
Yeah, I knew enough to not get in a boxing match with a kangaroo. So that's my
yeah. Those things are mean.
I know. I'm like, well, who knew? I just thought they're friendly, hopping around. Apparently not. They like to throw down. I don't know.
I know. Well, thank you, Bill. When we have fun, like time flies. We're already at time. I felt like we just started, but it's phenomenal. Thank you so much for sharing your experience during this event with Kensington Tours. And again, if you are listening to this and have questions, because I'm pretty sure most of you never heard of it. Me, before starting in this business, I never heard of them, in all honesty. But now that I know them, I want our clients to experience it because we know that it will be an unforgettable experience.
Yeah. No, well said. Thanks, Bill. Great having you back on. I think there was a little bit where Nick was going to take the hook and pull me off because I was making too much levity, but it's all good.
No, I love it.
Yeah, I like Bill's energy, so it makes it fun to joke around. But no, seriously, thanks for being back on. Anyone who wants to get in contact with Bill, or if you got some mortgage needs, please check out the description. You can find the links and how to contact him and Susan for that. But certainly we'll have them back again thanks to popular demand. But that'll wrap up today's Wanderlust Wednesday episode. Please, again, be sure you share, subscribe, and follow Two for the Win on your favorite platform. And thanks again to Nick Menard and Associates with Dream Vacations for sponsoring today's episode. That'll be it for all today, Wanderlusters. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Bye, winners. Bye.